Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust, and we're home.
We've just got back from our 6-week backpacking trip around Thailand.
So what we want to do in this video is to catch you up with everything we've been up to since we last spoke to you, which includes visiting Koh Phi Phi, Krabi, and spending our final few days on Koh Tao.
So this is it. It's the final chapter of our epic travels around Thailand.
And it doesn't take a genius to work out that we're at home and it's not going to follow our normal format, and that's happened for a number of reasons.
Yeah, we had a really hectic final week in Thailand. We had 2 days where we were travelling across to Koh Phi Phi, then we went across to Ao Nang in Krabi because we were working our way to get to Koh Tao, which is on the other side of Thailand in the Gulf Coast.
And that blended with a little bit of me getting my annual man flu moment, which I can't believe that I actually got man flu in the tropics. It was the hottest place on earth, and yet I was tucked up in bed shivering cold. But yeah, I was a little bit AWOL for a couple of days.
Yeah, which meant we didn't do a lot of filming. And then just for personal reasons, we did have to come back to England a week earlier than we'd planned. No big dramas, but it means that we're back at home and we're doing the last instalment from here.
So we have got 3 big venues to go through, so let's get going.
So what do we say about Koh Phi Phi? We actually got a little bit of a taste of it 2 weeks before when we had to change ferries at Koh Phi Phi, and we were really shocked at how much traffic on the sea there was.
I'm not entirely sure that first experience was a good idea, because it was something that was going to be a central part to our trip, and it was something that people had warned us about, and they said you're either going to love it or you're going to loathe it. And that first taster of just how busy it was sort of took the edge off it. But we travelled down and we finally made it to Phi Phi.
And it is actually a really beautiful island. We stayed at 2 different accommodations because it's so busy. When we did get round to booking it, they didn't have 2 nights at either of the bits of accommodation. But that was okay. That it's a non-motorised island. You can walk between the 2 or get long-tail boats between the 2. But it is absolutely heaving.
So from moment one of arriving at the pier, we luckily got a boat transfer out to the Viking resort, which we were really excited about because their accommodation is in the jungle. The resort has its own private beach, and it worked okay. It didn't help that over the course of the 2 days, the weather wasn't the best. It was still warm, but it was really overcast and a little bit breezy. So we descended into the Viking resort out of the carnage of downtown, and it was actually pretty peaceful.
It was, and it's set on a really pretty beach, and it's got the restaurant and the bar just on the beachfront. The accommodation that we had there wasn't the greatest. We paid quite a lot of money for it, so we were a little bit disappointed. But I think actually, on reflection, Richard wasn't very well. It was really overcast and actually rained on the day that we were at the Viking resort, so I don't think we saw it at its best.
It's a really tough one because I think that's probably sort of sums up the whole of Phi Phi for me. Not that I was poorly, but it just felt a little bit sort of overpriced and overmarketed. It's a really popular, perhaps the most popular destination in Thailand, and I just think that they were charging top dollar for not necessarily top dollar facilities.
And I was just so shocked at the sheer volume of sea traffic. It's a tiny island, and there was probably 5 or 6 huge ferries parked up at all times. There was probably knocking on for 200 or 300 long-tail boats zooming around, and then the speedboats that arrived with all the day trippers. So it was just constantly really busy. We did want to go to Maya Beach, which is where the beach film was filmed with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. But again, it was just so wet and overcast. We decided it wasn't worth the cost of the trip. So it's not a place we'd go back to, even if we wanted to see it at its best in the sun. But I am glad that we did it because it was pretty. We walked up to the viewpoint. We experienced just how chaotic and busy it was, but we were really glad to escape it and get to Krabi.
And Krabi was completely different. For one, we didn't really have any expectations. We knew that Krabi was quite a sprawling resort, so we chose to stay at Ao Nan, and the transfers worked really, really well. And we actually really liked Ao Nan.
We chose a really beautiful setting for our accommodation. We stayed at a place called the Whalecombe Hotel. It was sort of tucked away in the back streets. It had a nice little pool. The little bungalows were really, really pretty, really nicely presented in there. Still, the weather was not great, and we had a really nice day out. We went to Railay Beach.
Yeah, that was just absolutely beautiful and just dead easy to sort out. Railay is not accessible by road, so you have to get a long-tail boat from there, and they just went from the local beach. And it was a beautiful 5-minute boat ride around these massive, imposing cliffs, and it was a little bit choppy, but then we arrived at Railay, and that's definitely a place that we want to go back to.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. It's got the huge towering cliffs around it, really clear, beautiful coloured sea, and it had a really nice feeling to the resort. When we looked, there was no accommodation there under sort of £300 because we were looking to book so late in the day. I think if we were going to go there again, we would book in advance because that's a place that we know that we want to go to.
Yeah, it was a bit odd because it did have that really laid back hippie feel, and yet the accommodation was just way more expensive than we could cope with. The boat service runs from, I think it was about 9 in the morning till 6 at night. It was, I think for both of us, the equivalent of £5 to get there and back. So we could use Ao Nan as a base and go regularly to Railay, but it was just, yeah, a beautiful resort, and it was a little bit busier than we would perhaps have normally felt comfortable with, but for some unknown reason we really enjoyed it.
I don't know, just had a nice feeling. It was, yeah, like Richard said, it was a really busy resort, Ao Nang. It was a really long high street with lots of shops, lots of restaurants. They had a nice feel in them. They were a little bit more sort of westernised, maybe, as an area.
Yeah, and for me, I was just coming out of the back of man flu. I'd had about 5 weeks of eating purely Thai food, so an absolute life changer for me was a Friday night curry. We found a restaurant that not only had a Thai menu, but it also had a Southern Indian menu, which was just food of the gods and exactly what I needed. And I think what we both needed, just some really flavoursome food.
It's probably a pity that we didn't stay in Ao Nang longer. We only had 2 days. It's a place that we will definitely go back to when we do another trip to Thailand in the future.
So we'd always planned on going to Koh Tao as late as possible in our trip because the Gulf Coast is just coming out of its monsoon season, and me being quite literal, the monsoon season does end at the end of November. They switch the taps off and there's no more rain, so we were booked in at Koh Tao from the 1st of December.
It's a pretty epic trip to get from where we were in Ao Nang to Koh Tao. It is a 4 to 5 hour minibus journey to get across to the ferry port, and then there's a speedboat which is about a 3.5–4 hour journey to go up to Koh Tao, and it stops at 2 different islands, one of them being Koh Samui. It, I have to say, was probably one of the worst trips that we've ever had on that speedboat.
It was the speedboat catamaran of doom. We have got pretty good sea legs, but wow, it was as close as we've ever been to losing it. And seemingly the rest of the ship absolutely lost it.
It was a really, really wild and windy day, and the waves were quite high. The speedboat just kept ramming up on the waves and then crashing down. It was quite bumpy. We weren't sick, but everyone around us was just being sick all of the time, and it was just really hard focusing. The ferry was late. It couldn't go as fast as it wanted to go because of the wind and the waves. So it actually took probably more like 5 hours on the speedboat. We were so glad when we could see the lights of the island appearing in the darkness. It was not a trip I want to repeat.
I had to resort, I just put my earplugs in and listened to music and enjoyed the ride. But yeah, mental. I don't ever want to do that again. But when we arrived on Koh Tao, a beautiful Tiny little island. It is renowned for being a centre of sort of a diving culture and scuba. It's got a really laid back feel, and that was just sort of echoed in the accommodation that we'd booked.
We stayed at the Dearly Diving Resort Hotel, which is a hostel slightly set up on the hillside. It was set into the jungle. It was absolutely fantastic. It was, again, I keep saying it was one of the best places we stayed, but it was absolutely fantastic.
I think we really enjoyed it because it had definitely got a hostel feel. So for us, it had got the luxury of a really nice room with air conditioning, but it had got that feel of a community. There were lots of dorms. There was so many young people. We were probably some of the oldest people in the place, but it meant that there was a really nice community and of international travellers, and there was always someone to talk to and stories to share.
And what we really liked about the hostel is they had their own couple of minivans that they would take you out and about in, and they had different activities each night. We only were there for 3 nights, unfortunately. We were supposed to be there for 7, but on the first day that we got there, they had a beach safari. So the vans would take you to 3 different beaches at just a couple of hours. You got to talk to all the different travellers while you were going to the beaches. It was a really nice feeling, and we got to see more of the island than we would have done, because if we didn't have that facility, it's probably an island that you need to use motorbikes or mopeds to get around.
Yeah, and all of that was included in the very modest price for the accommodation. And it was a little bit out of the main port town, which was nice. But like as Jackie said, we had a memorable evening where they took us down to one of the sunset beaches and we sat at a bar and listened to the music. And it was just, yeah, our sort of place, wasn't it?
I think if we reflect back now on the whole of the trip that we've now completed, Koh Tao is probably one of our favourite islands that we went to.
But not an easy place to get to. And I'm already thinking about how we go back, because I started my PADI scuba course and I really enjoyed it. I got one day into that and spent some time in the pool with the scuba gear. So I'm thinking about how I really want to go back, but yeah, a really awkward place to get to.
Oh no, I don't think it's that bad. On the way back, when we reversed the journey, I was dreading the speedboat after the experience getting to Koh Tao. But actually, it was a really smooth journey. It took 3 hours to get back to the ferry port, and the minivan worked really well. So it wasn't as bad as I think you're remembering now.
Yeah, I guess we had to make some pretty quick arrangements for personal circumstances to get home. And initially, when we were thinking about it, it was like, oh my life, we're in the middle of the Gulf of Thailand. We are at least a 3.5 hour ferry journey from the mainland. How difficult is it going to be to get back? And actually, it was really easy.
Yeah, we have booked our trip, the flights and the first few nights accommodation as a holiday package with Trailfinders, and I think that was probably a bit of a godsend. I think we did pay a little bit more than we would have done if we'd booked it ourselves, but literally one phone call to Trailfinders and they within 15 minutes had sorted us out, booked us on an Emirates flight 2 days later, because it took us that time to get back from Koh Tao to Phuket. And it didn't cost a huge amount. It was £700 extra to change the flights and get home, which was just so easy. And then we went on to the One2Go Asia app. Literally within 10 minutes, we'd booked the ferry things back. And yeah, it was quite smooth and easy. So that's it. We're home and we had the most epic 6 weeks. We went with, I don't know what our expectations were. We just didn't know what we were going to like, whether we'd love it, whether we'd hate it. And it's just been fantastic.
It was our first time in Southeast Asia and there was a bit of trepidation, but the trip has done exactly what we wanted it to do. We wanted it to open up the doors of Southeast Asia just so that we felt more comfortable traveling in that part of the world, and it has just really opened our eyes to what is available for year-round travel.
We absolutely loved the fact that we were there in sort of late October, November and December, and we just had this guaranteed heat. It was so nice to just not worry about the weather and not be cold.
But one of the things we probably have learned is that not to underestimate just how tiring and perhaps stressful is a strong word, but how wearing long-term travel can be when you are so far away from home.
So in our next video, we will do a roundup of all the final costs, and we were really surprised at just how economical it was to travel around Southeast Asia and Thailand. And we thought we'd maybe do sort of 10 things that we've learned about ourselves and about the trip.
So for many reasons, this has not been our usual travel type video, but what we wanted to do was just to catch you up with everything we've done, round off the trip, because it would have been wrong to just cut it short without letting you know what's been going on, and just to let you know how much we've enjoyed it and how excited we are for next year's travel plans.
Yep, first trip up coming in January when we go skiing.
So that's it from us. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.